What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. Don't adjust your TV sets or your computer screens or your telephones in your hands. It's not Sunday night. The Stupid Bowl was on Sunday night. We moved to Tuesday night. It's a one-done deal this week, but we'll see how it goes. It's a new time, new day, same energy, same love and appreciation for the professional wrestling that we all here to talk about. But with that said, Tidy, how the heck have you been? Have you enjoyed wrestling? And what'd you think of the Stupid Bowl?
So the Super Bowl, which I was drinking a beer, having a shot here and there at my friend in the kitchen, had just good conversation, couldn't even see the TV. Saw Usher was on. I heard 3 songs that popped because I've been really big on DJs or just music in general. Every now and then needs to be that pop that makes everybody put their hands up like, oh my God, that's my song. So I heard some good songs on there towards the end, maybe a little bit by Alicia, and then saw the end of it. Enjoyed it because it was a close game at the end. I haven't watched because I don't have cable. I don't care. Wrestling's all I need, man. That's how good I'm doing. Because man, there's baby faces that I love. There's more than on one hand that I can fit that has sold me. So I'm good right now.
Awesome to hear. And Albert, how about you? How are you doing? How'd you enjoy some wrestling last week? And what did you think of the, as Amanda puts it, the Superb Owl on Sunday?
You say that a little fast. It doesn't work out really too well. But did you say it's a new day? Yes, it is for us here today. Yeah, dude. Super Bowl, it was great. I had a good time. Just me and my girl hanging out. We made some really good food. We stuffed our faces, and I enjoyed the game. So I love the halftime show. I'm pretty sure that outside of the Wicked trailer and the halftime show, my girlfriend didn't care about anything else but seeing Taylor Swift. But it was a good time. And hey, wrestling has been fire lately. Let's be honest. We haven't spoken since we've spoken last. So much has happened in just a short period of time. I love that.
Yeah, there's a lot that happened. Oh my goodness. Let's get these comments again. There's Amanda with the Superb Owl. Thank you for joining though, babe. Much appreciated as always. Courtney says I saw Jimmy out. That's right. Went and met Courtney on Friday while I was up in Boston. Went and said hello to Courtney. That was good. That was fun. Good to see her. She says hello, Jimmy and Amanda. So that was good. I watched the Super Bowl. This is the first Super Bowl I've watched since the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead, and I just kind of lost all my love for football. And it was actually a pretty good Super Bowl. I'm not even mad. I don't care if it was scripted. It was a good script if it was scripted, and I'll just leave it at that. So it was a great Super Bowl. I had a good time. It was a good time. I'll leave it at that. I won't watch another one.
You can script things that well.
What's that?
Only the WWE can script things that well.
Hey, they're both on Peacock or something like that. So I'm sure there's eyes in there somehow. You know, Nick Khan's got his fingers in everything. So
yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's the biggest. Hey, and the halftime show, I'll put it this way: when I heard it was Usher, I'm like, why? This is how out of NFL I am. They said it was Usher, and I'm like, why? And then they're like, it's going to be the longest Super Bowl of all time, and I'm like, why? I was so mad. But by like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes into it, I was like, yeah. This is a pretty good. This is a pretty good one. It ain't no Justin Timberlake, but it was still pretty good. I'll leave.
You forget how many hits Usher has.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, like he did like little samples from some of his other songs too. I was like, damn, this dude's been around for a while.
That was like the 90s, dude, when I was like 10, my teenage years, you know, because I'm 80. So I was like, man, I forgot Usher was a thing.
Yeah. And my favorite part about the whole thing was the fact that I got to see Little John on the stadium for a Super Bowl halftime show. As a kid who grew up in that era that loved that music, that was just mine. I was like, Little John has made it. Yeah. What?
Riding on shoulders in the crowd. I mean, it looked awesome.
It was phenomenal. But
yeah,
that's enough talk on the Stupid Bowl. On to the real sport that we love to talk about, professional wrestling. None of that scripted shit. We talking about the real stuff.
That's right.
Thanks. So the original plan was we were going to break down the women's elimination chamber, but they've kind of already started that. They've scrapped our original idea of putting little Logan Paul in there and defending the United States Championship, even though it was a much better idea. But that's okay. We can talk about the chambers, the people who are in it, the people who we think might be in it, and kind of just go from there and talk about our lover. We ain't got to really talk about a whole bunch of stuff tonight. Just talk about the stuff we want to talk about. because that's the way I like it.
I like
We'll start off with Tidy. Tidy, what was your favorite part of wrestling this past week?
Oh, besides the
On the
press
spot.
conference, man. Besides the press conference, the GMs with Triple H dropping the rock bombs. Triple H, know your role. It doesn't matter what you think. Oh my God, I love that. And he's like, the show solidarity, because they've been fighting, these two GMs. Like, they're gonna work together. It kind of gives me this feeling like it's almost like creative and the GMs are like sticking together, because what we know Triple H to do is like, hey, I want to do the right thing creatively. And then the board's like, screw your creative. We're throwing the rock in there and we're going to slap people. So for me, that is a dope storyline. And I want them to lean a bit into that. And I'm hoping it's more than that. That got me by surprise immediately. And then he says they don't have the authority. The only one with authority is this guy talking with the answers or whatever. He said the word authority is like, back in the day, the authority. So for me, it made me think like, oh, does that mean you're hinting that this could be a storyline, beefing with the board, basically? And then, oh my God, Seth. Okay, I'll stop with that later. But that alone, man, God, that was good shit. Think you're on the board. You can say what you want. So I love the GMs teaming up. I think that's what's going to happen, and that's got me giddy.
So you brought up the slap. So I'm going to go ahead and correct myself. So it was last week, I think I was on here, and I was like, that's bullshit with The Rock and all other stuff. So we didn't let things play out. And I'm a man of my word. When you show me I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I was wrong. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, because we're going to talk about whether we think this was the plan or not the whole time as well. I want to add that into the end of the show. But yeah. I like that they're using the two GMs in a way that makes them feel important as important parts of the show, but they're not there to take away from the talent. I think sometimes that's been the case in the past, and it's kind of probably why we've been soured on them, because like,
yeah,
this isn't about you guys, and then these guys have done a phenomenal job of that not being the case. So I like that you brought up the GMs. I think they deserve way more love than they get, for sure, especially Nick Aldis. He has killed it since he got there.
He really has.
Albert, what about you, man? What was your favorite part of the week?
All right, so runner up, pretty deadly. So the Queen in the clouds this week. They're coming back for those tag titles to get geared up for WrestleMania season, and they let out a very big yes boy at the end of that segment. It was absolutely wonderful. I'm glad to see that Kit Wilson's confidence is coming back. His fingers look mangled. That was really, I was concerned. It can't just be Elton Prince making all the jokes. They need to both be in on it.
For sure.
It lit up my day when I saw them do that. Like, it does look like the Queen. It does look like Lizzie. Cracking up. It's like they haven't even really wrestled a lot in these last couple of the injuries and all the stuff that happens. And man, dude, are they not entertaining as hell? I just love them.
They're so fun. But Tidy, I'm actually glad that you stopped where you stopped, so I can bring up where you were going to go and talk about that Seth Rollins promo, which, my word, was that some next level. Man, I was sitting there, like, he came out and I was like, okay, all right. And he started talking, and gradually, but more gradually, I'm sitting there. By the end of it, I'm on my hands on my elbows on my knees on the edge of my seat. Like, he had me locked in the entire time. That is probably Seth's best promo of the past 5 years, and Seth cuts great promos often. He dropped a little bit of that like cackling part of his character and got really serious for a few minutes. And man, did it ever hit. That Rollins promo, Courtney, you put it 100% the right way, was fire.
You know what it did for me? It did for me is like, it made me actually love Seth, the baby face again. Because I love Seth back in the day. He brought me into wrestling. But when he said that, I was like, oh, that was perfect. He said the thing about the Shield, etc. But I feel like now I have like 7 baby faces I'm actually going for. And I was messaging Jimmy about this. I was like, am I crazy? Am I actually behind this many baby faces? This doesn't happen to me. I'm mostly a heel guy. And there's too many. And Seth just blew it up. He got behind Cody the way he did it. And there's only one person that can have your back. and be the shield for you.
Yeah.
God, it was brilliant.
So good.
The return of the babyface has probably been like one of the absolute greatest things that happened in the past 2-3 years of professional wrestling. It's fantastic that we can finally not hate some baby faces. We're like, no, these guys are cool. These are the guys we want to win. We're rooting for them. When they don't get it their way, we throw a fit. Clearly, Cody Crybabies was the thing. Like, it's awesome to see. And like you said, Tidy, there's so many at this point. Like, literally so many. You know the ones at WWE. There's some in AEW that I think do a fantastic job of it as well. Like, it's across the board as far as I can see. And I love it because it definitely seemed like the babyface thing was just dead.
Yeah, and there, you know, I know Tidy kind of knows because, you know, Tidy was in the live stream of the other show that I was on a little bit earlier. We were talking about the idea of a lot of baby faces being better on the chase. And I think that WWE has done a good job with Seth as being a really good babyface champion, you know, because it's hard to book guys that way because sooner or later everybody turns on him. And we've seen it during Seth's title run. There's been a couple of times where people are like, well, Balor's got to be the guy to do it, right? Well, Drew's got to be the guy to do it, right?
We're tired of seeing it. Like, shut
right,
up.
right.
Yeah.
But, you know, but I think WWE's been doing a good job of keeping Seth in a positive light for most of the fans, that even after he did retain, people weren't like booing him. He's still over. It was just a little bit more of a shock to see that he retained rather than people getting mad that he was holding on to the championship for the amount of time he has.
Would you say he's the best babyface top champion that they've had? I can't talk on other ones, but that they've had since AJ Styles' run.
You know, it's funny. I was going to say, if you go back to anybody, I think the last person would probably be AJ. Yeah, I think so. Because, you know, they've turned on almost everybody else, even Kofi towards the end, you know? Like,
that was absurd. That was so absurd. And I still get mad to this day when people try to crap on it. Because it was like, bro, he was a fighting champion. He literally came out the day after he won. It was like, Seth, I want your title too. Like, right. I love that version of Kofi. I get so mad when people just crap on it.
And that's the thing. Everybody gets so mad about the Brock loss, but I was like, you guys all were crapping on his run the entire time. What are you getting mad? He lost in 9 seconds. You wanted him to lose the month before to Randy Orton.
I think it was those last 3 promos. I mean, well, technically the whole thing of why you should pick me as the heavyweight champion. I thought that was great because he cut at Roman, and he made a valid point. You know, made a whole thing about you want to be a workhorse, and it was relatable because look what I'm doing. You know, I broke my knee, broke my back, basically, and now you have him stepping up and defending Cody as a babyface on that press conference. So you don't get to do what the hell you want. And then even last night, he called them pricks, like, and like. I'm sorry. That solidified it for me. I saw it coming, and then I didn't think I love him again. I'm in love with that dude again.
He's a farmer guy that used to wrestle for the WWE.
Yeah, Courtney, I think you have to be a subscriber to the channel to join the live stream.
You can join it. You can't comment for 10 minutes until you subscribe. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But Seth, I was talking to my buddies about this. I think Seth, since he's been injured, hasn't missed on the microphone. I think he's like, that's where his energies went. And I think what's really cool about Seth is everyone always craps on the cackling, the laughing, like, we don't get it. We don't get it. We don't like it. We don't like it. But if it wasn't for those, when he cuts these serious promos, they wouldn't be as effective. They wouldn't hit the way they hit. It's all part of the character that he's giving us. And I think it's time y'all open your eyes and stop looking for reasons to hate on Seth Rollins, because in 10 years' time, you're all going to be like, man, we were too hard on him like we've done to others in the past. And Seth, in my opinion, gets it way more than I've seen others in the past get it for someone that's as damn good as he is. It's wild to me. Like,
right, you can hate Cena on the fact that maybe you didn't like him as a wrestler. You can't say that about Seth.
Yeah.
You know, like that
is wild.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me. And look, I think the hate comes from, and I mentioned this before, I think a lot of the hate comes from wrestling fans are in this phase now where they want to just fantasy book people as world champions. It's like a participation trophy. Everybody wants their favorite guy to win the championship, to the point that when they do, they start fantasy booking who the next champion is going to be afterwards. Oh, great. My favorite babyface won the championship. That's good. So now my favorite heel can take it from him. Let's do that quick. Why is he still champion? Why is the title not on this guy? And that's where wrestling fans have, yeah, and you have a guy like Gunther who's reigned over for this long, and you see the value of a long title run like this. When somebody beats Gunther, it's a big deal. When somebody beats Roman, it's a big deal.
Yeah. So I wrote down the ones that I am like, I know people want their favorite and they're a fan of this person, but I'm talking about people that for me lately that have just broke my glass ceiling and made me love them. That's Ilya, Trick Willie, Von Wagner, and Stone, because I've been watching their story. You know what? It's hitting me, man. Seth, Cody, Sammy, Bailey, Becky, R-Truth. We all love R-Truth infinitely, of course. Yes. But, man, seeing him realize and then call Miz like, man, you were right. They're going to kill me.
They're going to kill me, dog.
That shit had me laughing and feeling bad for him. Even Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin. I'm even like, they're getting right there with that. So that's a lot of baby faces to love when my list would not even be half of that lately.
Yeah.
So, and they got plenty of bad guy heels. There's so many heels that are already in WWE. So I know I'm a fan of a lot of other people and I'm rooting for them. I get it. But that is tremendous to me. To sell me on all these people, that's a tremendous job.
You know who's conducting that Von Wagner hype train? This guy.
Oh yeah,
I was the first telling everybody, y'all need to stop making fun of this caveman looking boy. He gonna start busting some asses, and the second they give him something he can sink his teeth into, y'all gonna regret it. And what's he done? They gave him something to sunk his teeth into, and people were like, come Tuesday. They love the guy. He's fantastic. And yeah, I'm doing that one. I deserve that one.
And here's the thing, it's funny because it's all circles around to being, what we were talking about before. This is indicative of a fan base that doesn't have patience anymore. Yeah. God forbid. Exactly. Everything's got to be right there, right away, immediately. And if they reject you immediately, that's it. That means you're done. WWE putting Von Wagner in that world title match, everybody was like, oh, they're going to make this guy win. That's it. He's the chosen one. And they made it up in their minds. He didn't even win. Ciampa won the match, but people made it up in their mind. That's it. Von Wagner's the guy. Meanwhile, if you look back, and I'm doing that right now because I went back and started watching some of the some old NXT stuff. I think it's just super funny to see that the Creed brothers, Braun Breaker, Trick Mello, Von Wagner, these guys were all at the same time security guards at one point, breaking up, fights and stuff like that. Tony D'Angelo. And then, you can see that those were the next up. You can see when NXT does that, they put these guys in as like extras and stuff like that. Those are the next up guys. Von Wagner was up there with everybody else. Of course they were going to, they were going to position him as a big guy. But God forbid they put him in a world title match to try to establish him. It's like, oh my God, how could you do that?
That's what you got to do. We see it happen all the time, and it works. It didn't work for him in that moment, but that doesn't mean he's shit. That doesn't mean we turn on him. He's good.
Right.
And he had to give him opportunity. He got the opportunity, and he's proven it. And I'm happy for him because Von Wagner is awesome.
Agreed.
No. Mr. Stone is. Hey, I'm not talking about Mr. Stone. Robert Stone, I don't really. He's okay. I'm talking about Wagner. Von Wagner is my guy. My guy. I dare someone to try and pull up something that they were supporting that man before me. I think I followed him. And he only had like 621 followers. That's how down I've been with Von Wagner since day one, for sure.
I know. I was there, and then you were quoting it to me, and I was like, Von, can you? And you're like, dude, there's something there with that guy. I'm telling you, he's going to be something big. I remember you telling me that on the podcast.
And also, might as well, since we have nothing really going on, if we have time, we're under the hour and we have time left. I have an idea for Mr. Stone that I think would be revolutionary on the main roster. And I'll pitch it to you guys. You can tell me what you think if we have time. If not, I'll save it for another day. My favorite moment of the week. I'm going to go ahead and do another backtrack because, again, I watch wrestling as a fan. I get emotional, and I'll get mad in the moment if it makes me emotional enough. Last week on Dynamite, Swerve and Hangman had themselves as Wrestle Chaps, my buddies Wrestle Chaps would say, a belter of a match. It was fantastic. Those guys can't miss. They are at this point, we can call them wrestling soulmates. I think they have that trajectory going for them. Fantastic match once again. They went to a draw, and I immediately was like, this is bullshit. Because I've been behind the Swerve thing since he showed up in AEW since day one. Like, this is your guy. This is the guy they need to push. This is the guy that's going to do something for them because he's different. And he can go with all these guys that the AEW fan base like drools over. Like, he can get in there with Kenny and hang with him. He can get in there with Will Ospreay and hang with him. Like, he can
absolutely.
And again, he does it while presenting a character that is just different from literally everyone else in professional wrestling right now. So to see him beat Hangman twice because he wanted to tank Hangman's spot and then have to have a third match just because Hangman showed up. You can't beat me, bitch. I've done it twice. What are you talking about? And had to have a third match. And then it went to time limit draw. So now Swerve don't even get his one-on-one title match against Samoa Joe. He's got to share it with the some bitch that he already stole a spot from and beat twice. And I was like, this is booty. Swerve deserves better. I want to start the hashtag we want Swerve, because that's what I'm going to do every time something doesn't go my way anymore. I'm just hashtagging it. We want such and such. By the way, we want Bronson. Start putting it out there, people, because it's nonsense what happened to that man. But
there might be a reason, though.
There might be. Again, I'm not going to go throwing a bitch fit like I did last week.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say we want Bronson.
Absolutely. If he can be there, he should be there.
Give me faith, people. But Swerve was like 5 more minutes, Hangman, and then Hangman declined it. And right then and there, I kind of should have stepped back and been like, all right, I see what we're doing here. We're doing a double turn. Thank you. You should have. This is a brilliant move. And not giving Swerve what he wants is kind of making the people get behind him more and away from Hangman, which they need to do if Hangman's turning heel, which I think is great for Hangman, because when he has fire behind him and he's an asshole, he's interesting. And I get behind him. When he's not, I don't care. He's just a really good wrestler. And we have too many of those. So great call all around. Great way of executing it. And again, the match was just, it was beautiful. It was fantastic. And I feel like we critique AEW a little bit more on here than other things. So when they do something right, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to say, I was wrong. I shouldn't have gotten emotional, but I was in my feelings because for a reason. I've just been getting screwed over on these storylines left and right lately. They've been tricking me. They've been swerving me. I don't like it, people. I don't like it, but I do love it. I do. It's a love-hate relationship, honestly. So kudos to them. That was fantastic.
Credit where credit is due. Yep. AEW did an amazing job with that, because I wouldn't have even thought about doing a double turn. My whole thing was, man, Swerve's getting so over. They're just going to have to turn him babyface. But to also then take Hangman and turn him heel, and let's be honest, it's interesting also because the Bucks are heels too. So it does give the dynamic of now the elite, all kind of being mustachioed.
Mustaches.
Yeah, the mustachioed heels, like, I mean.
Now you just ruined it for me, because I don't want to have anything to do with those little bastards.
I'm with you there. But,
stay away, because they're goofy. He's not.
Listen, at least they looked aggressive at the end after, with the beatdown with Sting and Darby. That's the most aggressive I've seen them ever. Listen, you're not going to get me to give them credit a lot. That was like the most aggressive I think I've ever seen them. I still don't think it worked. I just saying at least they were aggressive.
Take my eyeballs, Young Bucks. I don't want to see them. I want them off the TV. I'm done with them. I'm tired of it. I hate it. I hate how that show ended, but I'm not even going to get into it. I'm not going to hate. That's not what we're here for.
Me too.
Good stuff.
A lot of
it. They started off amazing with the match. Going back, it was a great idea. Fantastic. They deserve all the props in the world for it. If they could start capitalizing on things like that and start finding momentum from things like that and booking people and getting people in positions like Swerve is right now and started doing it across the board, they could get back to where I think everyone wants them. My problem is that's like the only thing I really care about right now.
Yeah.
I would have loved to seen a Sting farewell tour. I would have liked to seen that, and then we didn't get that. So, but I'm spiraling now. I'm leaning towards that. I'm not going to do it. So back off. I'm gonna back off. We're gonna move to the Elimination Chamber. We're gonna move to the Elimination Chamber.
Let's do it.
it's not a United States title championship match. Logan Paul has to defend against 5 people. So boo-ha on that. That's what it should have been. Our ideas kicked ass. Theirs is just kind of cool. I'm going to eat crow, though, because so far the names in that match are absolutely insane.
It's fire. Yeah, so far. And look, I think that the ones that we booked would have been way more fun for the Elimination Chamber. I think that this one is way more for star power. And I think they made the right move because, let's face it, they lost 2 of their big guys going over there that could have had big matches. Seth and Punk, aren't able to go.
I'll say this. It gives it the feel of being a big important match when you put these big important names in it. So if you're trying to have it on the same wavelength as the Royal Rumble, as like, hey, you got to win this to get that grand prize. So now with the Elimination Chamber, instead of giving us like 2 big names and then 4 kind of on the cusp, you give us a bunch of big names, and it's kind of putting it on that same category of like, okay, you got to win something pretty legit and big time right here to get that grand prize at WrestleMania. And I like that they're doing it. I do hate that Bronson Reed did not make his way into it. And they have 2 other qualifying matches, so I don't see him making it into the chamber. But they could change my mind. They could do something and make it work, and I wouldn't even be mad because he needs to be in it. But
sure, look, they can put him against my card.
If he's on the card, okay. But
yeah,
that was heartbreaking watching him lose on Raw. I was like, what are we doing? And then Ivar losing too blew my mind because I thought they were going to have AJ cost him and they were going to get LA Knight getting screwed over. And nope, they're putting all the stars so far in the men's. Randy Orton, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. That's crazy.
Bobby alone, man, he is going to wreck people's face in there. That's going to be something crazy to see. So even though I was a little bitter that he beat Bronson, that's the second time he's beaten Bronson technically. So, anyways, Bobby is it's a positive for me as I get to see Bobby in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I'm not mad, like, because again, them making it feel like a big deal. In fact, this makes it feel like when it first came out, where they were just loading it with top people to make it say like, "Oh, this is supposed to be a big deal," and that's what we're getting. Because in the past, we've been getting just kind of names where you're like, "It's cool they're in there, but they don't really belong in there with these other guys," and they're not doing that this time. We have 2 more qualifying matches. We can talk about who we think is going to win those and be in it. We'll start off with Logan Paul and Miz, which is an interesting one. I think that's on Friday. It's on SmackDown this week.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Logan Paul versus Miz for the 5th spot in the Elimination Chamber. Who do we got for this match?
Logan.
I got Logan.
Yeah. Logan Paul. So I have Logan Paul as well because Miz is he's got other things to do with R-Truth and Judgment Day and a big WrestleMania moment for those guys. But so we have Logan Paul sharing an Elimination Chamber with Randy Orton, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre. That's insane.
Right?
That's absolutely insane. And he's not even going to look out of place.
No.
That's crazy.
As a matter of fact, think about who's in that match. He's going to have the coolest spots.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But now here comes a little bit harder. I knew we were all going to pick Logan Paul in this one. I don't think we're all going to.
This one's rough.
Kevin Owens versus Dirty Dom.
So here's my thing. This goes 2 ways. One, I'm like, how do you not have Kevin Owens in the chamber? He's perfect for it. Then another thing I think of is, all right, they've got 3 baby faces in there, right? Dom makes sense as being the 3rd heel. He can be sneaky. It can be fun. I think Dom in that chamber is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That's what definitely was going to happen in the chamber when Logan Paul pins LA Knight in the chamber. That's what's going to start that whole shit. It's going to be funny as fuck.
The other way around.
What about you, Tidy? Who's winning, Kevin Owens or Dirty Dom? Don't you dare disappoint.
It's as much as I want Kevin Owens because Sammy just lost and couldn't even get in the chamber because they're going to make him fight freaking Randy Orton. Of course he's going to lose. It's Randy Orton, damn it. How are you going to – he even said that in his promo. So to see Kevin Owens not make it in and Sammy not make it in, oh, man, that's going to be hard to deal with. But because I'm going Dom because JD finally got a win on Awesome Truth, Mr. R-Truth. And Judgment Day made it known because they've been going back and forth like, hey, Judgment Day, we're kicking you out. We're going to be all serious, more money, less funny. And then all of a sudden that happened last week. And now this week, it's Judgment Day or serious again. If JD got a win and Dom can't get a win, and they've been like buddy together most of the time now, I kind of want to see them get a win, dude. So I'm going for Dom.
Dom's getting in that chamber. I know we were literally just like so giddy of the idea of Kevin Owens being in the chamber last week, but hell no. Dom's going in the chamber because he's going to prove that he belongs in there with them big boys as well, because he is the GOAT. And I'm not even joking when I say this. I'd have him win the chamber and challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. Kiss my butt if you disagree, anybody. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Boom.
Drew will kill him. Dude. He won't make it to Mania after that.
Yeah.
Drew ain't been to prison. He ain't about it.
I know, but Drew's gone after everybody. He's been on every SmackDown and Raw.
These colors don't run.
Let me tell you.
Drew McIntyre will when he sees them.
Protection of the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley's agreement. Drew will stay away from Dom somehow.
Let me tell you something. Outside of that Seth Rollins promo, Drew McIntyre is the highlight of the week. I mean, every single time this guy gets the microphone in his hand, it's absolute gold. And on top of that, that whole ordeal of costing Sammy at the end of Raw this week, absolutely loved it, man. Drew's on another level. He's on another level.
What do you tell him? Two things you should avoid. Fighting me and being in my prayers.
Yeah.
I dig it, dude. That's so good.
What else is new, bro? What else is new? You know that. So, Albert, who'd you pick? Did you pick Kevin Owens or Dom, or did you play both sides of the fence?
I played both sides of the fence.
You got to pick one, or you're muted and booted. Those are the rules.
All right, if I got to pick one, I'm going to go Dom.
Hell yeah.
It'll be more fun.
Honestly, it would just be more fun. And also, I really want there to be a big spot for Kevin Owens at WrestleMania this year. He's had the last 2 years, he's had huge spots. He's main evented the last 2 years. I want to keep that up, and I hope that whoever Kevin Owens is going to go into WrestleMania feuding with costs Kevin Owens this match against Dom. That's my hope.
Logan and Dom running away from Bobby and them, because they're like terrified for a second. And they ain't running from them. They just hide on top of the pods for a minute.
He ain't running from them. He's dealt with bigger people than them when he was in prison, bro. So right here, straight up, I'm not mad if Drew wins this and goes on to win the title, because I think he deserves it. Him and Bayley are the number 1 and number 2 people in the world of wrestling that just deserve all the flowers right now, because they were the MVPs and they got screwed over. So yes, I'm not mad at it. I just don't know if that's what we're doing. I love the uncertainty here, because we can all say, it's going to be Drew going on to face Seth. But why? He has faced him twice and he's lost. So why are we going to run it back? Because some people got injured? No. There's still some other options out there. This whole thing with Sammy?
Yes.
How does that play into Seth if Sammy is officially kind of eliminated from getting to the title match? Because if he finds his way in after not making it into the chamber, I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I just don't.
I think there's a way they can tell a story to do it. Like, I think, here's my thing. This is the way I think it's going to happen. I think Drew wins the Elimination Chamber. I think the week after that, he comes out. He's talking about how he's going to, defeat, Seth Rollins. Sammy comes out. He interrupts him, says something along, cuts a very good, very big, impassioned Sami Zayn promo, goads Drew to have a match to say, fine, if you're so confident that you can beat me, I'm a loser, right? I've lost all these matches. I'm a loser. If you're so confident you can beat me, put your spot at WrestleMania on the line. If I beat you, I get in that match. And Drew is going to be overconfident. Sammy, I keep beating you. You're nothing. You lost to Nakamura. You lose to everybody. That's all you do. The only thing you're good at is losing, so I'll beat you. And Sammy just finds a way to win. I think that place erupts. I think it makes it easier on Seth, because now he doesn't have to carry a full singles match. There's 2 other guys in that match with him. And I think that everybody's going to go in there thinking, well, Drew McIntyre is going to win the title. I think the ultimate swerve happens that Sami Zayn can win the championship at WrestleMania, The biggest babyface pop in the world. Everybody's on the highest of highs, and Damian Priest cashes in.
So I like this. I like this for Sammy, not the Damian Priest cash in. I like the idea for Sammy. I just don't like it for Drew. That his overconfidence would cost him again. That would be like, I mean, talk about Drew fans talking about we want Drew. It won't stop if that happens. It's gonna go bananas.
I'm not saying I'm gonna like turn that idea down. I want to see it executed before I'm like on board with it though. Because I don't like because we just seemingly saw kind of them backpedal and find a way to fix something and get Cody back into a main event. So to do that again with Sammy to get him in to me again, I feel like it's just kind of too much. But again, I'll watch the execution and they can prove me wrong. Go ahead, Courtney, spit the question out. But I have to see it. Make me a believer. There we go. That's what I like.
No
them
three-way?
Make me a believer.
Nope.
And I love Sammy. What's that?
Chance for a three-way instead, Albert, Jimmy? With
I
Sammy,
don't see the
That's what I think. That's what I think is going to happen.
I don't think so because again, Sammy's lost his opportunity to get in. So they would have to create another scenario for him to get in, which would in turn screw Drew, which I guess fits in with his character, and he would have more material to bitch about and make fun of, and that would be good for him because he's kind of knocking everything out of the park that he's been given. But me personally, I just don't. And I love this question because I've seen a bunch of people complaining about it, and it's simple as this. In the Royal Rumble, for a chance to fight for the world title at WrestleMania, we have Raw, we have SmackDown, we even have NXT people in there because it's WrestleMania, and we want to make it as big as possible. So with the Chamber, they're taking Raw superstars and they're taking SmackDown superstars because, one, it's an international one, and they want to get as many big names on that show as possible for the international fans. What's a way to do that? We have an Elimination Chamber. We can stack the Chamber with a bunch of big names, make the fans there happy, and also at the same time really make that World Heavyweight Championship that Seth has a coveted title because all these big names are going through hell to try and get an opportunity to win it. And that's why they're doing it.
Yep.
I'll say this about this whole complaint that I see all the time. I'm of the idea I would love to see the brand split hard. Don't have them jumping from show to show as often as you do. I would love it if they did it. They don't, and I don't really like it, but it's also not a big enough reason for me to be mad about. Because when I watch other promotions, I see people from all over the world just showing up and leaving. So it's not different than anywhere else that we're seeing other people do it. They just have their own forbidden door within the WWE universe, and this is them using it, and that's how I view it.
Well, for Courtney, how I would clarify it is, one, the GM said they were united after the whole Rock thing because now we do have a main event, so you're not getting Roman's title, but we have things called in the question. CM Punk didn't win the Rumble, so you now have this opportunity since the SmackDown people are starved, is how I see it, and they know they're never going to get Roman's title because they're not Cody, right? They're not the big story. So now they have a chance. As a fan, I'm okay with that. So that's why it was okay with me. So it's not that big of a deal. So it hasn't bugged me.
It's not like we're seeing the same guys jump over every single week and taking spots away from other people. Like, it's not happening that way. It happens when they need it to make sense.
Right.
Again, I don't want to see it, but I'm not going to be like, I'm not watching this because they're who cares, man. If it's good, it's good.
At the end of the day, though, what I would like them to do is just say that on television. That's it, and I'd be happy. And I call out when AEW does things like this. I'll call out when WWE does it too. I don't like when they just leave it sometimes into the fans' hands to fill in the gaps. Sometimes just say it straight up. The Elimination Chamber was going to be co-branded because, much like the Royal Rumble, everyone had a chance at picking the championship that they wanted. We feel that the World Heavyweight Championship is coveted enough by both brands that all these men want to fight for a spot, so we're going to give them a shot. That's it. If they would have just said that in 2 sentences, summed it all up for everybody, then no one has can question it. People might have a problem with it because wrestling fans have a problem with everything, but at the very least, they did their best to explain it. That's all I want. Just a brief explanation. That's it.
And just my counterpoint to that is that WWE fans are constantly being called stupid because they feel like they have to be talked through every little thing. But then when there's instances like this where I don't think they need to be talked it through because it's kind of obvious, it gets caught. So it's like it's a no-win situation for them. So I don't really care either way how they do it, especially with something as minimal and small as someone from SmackDown being on Raw. Who cares? They work for the same company, y'all.
I know.
It's crazy. But Women's Elimination Chamber time. We gotta jump into that one so we can knock that one out too. So far in the Women's Elimination Chamber match, we got Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and Liv Morgan. I know Albert's starting to sweat bullets about it now. It's happening. And then on SmackDown, we will have Naomi versus Alina for the 4th spot. We will have Tiffany Stratton versus Shotzi for the 5th spot. And then we're going to have a battle royal to kind of get that last spot. Now, Courtney's been in the chat. She said that they've apparently leaked them. I haven't seen the leak. So I
saw
don't
the
know.
leak. It wasn't. It's not confirmed, and it's not great. But the whole thing is the battle royal. Jade would have her opportunity to get in there as a surprise.
Okay. So I think these are pretty clear-cut answers, except for the battle royal one, which we'll get to. Tiffany Stratton versus Shotzi. Who y'all got?
Tiffany.
Same, but I would have really loved to see Shotzi in the chamber.
I'm with you 1,000%. So I'm gonna pick Shotzi because I want.
Good. I'm glad.
I hate to pick against Tiffany Stratton. I really do.
Same here.
But Shotzi in that chamber would be awesome.
So much fun.
She's so risky with all of her moves. That's
exactly.
Yeah, I'll climb to the top and do a dang 630 off the top through a table that's on fire and nobody's there. Sure, I'll do that. I'd love it. I want Shotzi in it. Then we have Naomi versus Zelina Vega, which this one hurts my feelings, but who do we got?
Yeah, same here.
I'm going with my heart. I'm still going Zelina. Sorry.
Thank you for going with your heart. I don't like Zelina getting shit on like this because it's not right.
I don't like it.
Here's my thing. I appreciate the fact that she's in the contention match at the very least. At least they did that for her. But I mean, how do you pick against Naomi? I mean, if the WWE wants to make her a big deal again, this is it. This is the way to do it.
How you pick against Zelina? She didn't take off. She stayed. She put in work. She stepped up when she needed to.
But hold up. So
I know
even the people in these contender matches get a chance to go into the battle royal as well.
Yes,
I'll be okay with that. So Naomi may have a second chance, or Zelina may have a second chance, or Shotzi. So that's what makes this so good.
My bad, Luke. It was just a 1 week thing. That stupid bowl got in my way. You know that. So we're all taking Naomi on this one. No, Tidy said he's taking Zelina. I like it.
I'm a true blue Zelina fan.
I would send that Wade Barrett gif to you, but I don't have it with me. So
bad news. Yeah, they're not gonna let Naomi lose. So she just came back, right?
So this is the fun one. There's a battle royal on Monday Night Raw with all the people that have lost, and I can imagine a few other people thrown in there as well to get that last spot. I've been seeing Jade's name get thrown around a lot, but I'm going to ask y'all I don't want y'all to tell me who you think it is. No, you can tell me who you think it is, but I want you to also tell me who you would want it to be. Tidy, you get time to think. I'll go first because I knew I was doing this question, so I'm prepared.
I know mine too.
I think it's Jade Cargill, and I mean, they're going to keep putting her in these positions just to make you know she's a big deal. And then like 3 people can team up on her and she can lose and she still looks like $1 million. It's a great way to protect her while she still is getting acquainted to the system and the people and all that. I would like it to be, I won't say Shotzi because we just talked about Shotzi and I actually have her in it already. So I won't say Chelsea Green, because the people of Perth deserve to see Chelsea Green 1000%. And how hilarious would it be to see Chelsea Green running around the chamber trying to get away from all these people who are going to hurt her? I don't do that leak stuff. You know this. That's why I don't like spoilers. Keep it away from me. It's like sickening to me. Sickening.
Why did you have to steal my answer?
Chelsea Green is awesome, and I'm never not going to put her in these positions.
Like honestly, Everything she's been doing has been so amazing. She's so much fun. It would be so great to see her luck her way into this chamber match, and then all of a sudden she gets like this big, she's going to get this big opportunity. And the same thing as I said with Dom. It's just so much fun to see Dom in that chamber. It's going to be so much fun to see Chelsea in that chamber. I would love that.
And before Tidy goes, I'll ask. Oh no, you said who's your other guy? The person you think is going to win it.
So here's the thing. How far is Raquel Rodriguez from coming back? Like, I feel like
come on, man, that was my pick.
Oh, well, Tidy, I am so glad that Jimmy stole mine, so I guess I stole yours. I'm sorry.
I can pick my second. It's fine.
But yeah, I mean, how far along is she? I mean, that would be
I'll look it up while y'all continue.
That's a great addition to the chamber, and that would be my answer. I don't want it to be Jade for the simple fact that the first time I want Jade and Bianca to step foot into a ring together, it's either as a tag team or a one-on-one. That's it. I don't want to see them in a match together. I don't even want a tease of it. So that's my only reason against Jade. So, yeah, for me, I think if Raquel is able to come back, I think she's the perfect person. I think she's the answer for me. If I had it my way, it's Chelsea Green. By a long shot, it's Chelsea Green.
All right. Tidy, before you go, I had a name, and now I don't remember what it was. Son of a butt. Go ahead, Tidy. Go ahead.
Since you're going to take Raquel, my second one was Piper Niven. I love Piper
That's
Niven.
a good one, too.
I just love Piper Niven. Period.
Thank you.
She's
You just
awesome.
you just brought the idea back in my head, but continue.
Okay. So Piper Niven and I would say Dakota Kai, but she's already tied up with damage control stuff. But you know what? I just love Dakota, so I'm just going to say Dakota anyway. That's who I think it should be. But I want Piper Niven.
Okay.
If I could have my Raquel.
And how great would it be if Chelsea Green got in because the last person she eliminated was Piper Niven? Oh my goodness. Give it to me, baby. That would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal. That would be phenomenal. And Raquel, the last thing that they've said about her is she had that eczema situation where it was like some kind of mat syndrome and she had a real bad flare up. That was a month ago. There's been no update on her since. So she'd be a great surprise return back.
Yeah.
I don't know if she really connected with the fans enough for it to be a big deal, though. That's my only.
Well, I think that Jimmy, I know you're better at fantasy booking. I think I like that you said that Piper being the last one she dumps out. I would love to see Chelsea win the Battle Royal without even eliminating anybody. I'd love to see her take like a big move at the beginning of the match and roll outside, and then like it looks like it's down to like, let's just say, for argument's sake, you said Piper Niven and Shayna Baszler, and they're going at it. It looks like both, and they both go over the top, and it's like who wins, and then Chelsea rolls into the ring, and it's like, oh my God, Chelsea was never eliminated. She wins. Like, how great would that be?
I'm with it. I'm just laughing at Lou here because I don't want to see Maxine Dupree in another ring until she gets that stuff situated. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to be negative. But she needs to get that wrestling situated before she's back in that ring, man. Whew. The last 3 matches she's been in, I've been like, oh. Ivy now, I ain't mad. Ivy Nile's cool. Ivy Nile's cool.
I didn't think of Ivy.
She's so short.
That's a good one.
She's still cool.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now with that, Women's Chamber, with the people we've put into it, who do you have winning it based on the knowledge we have now? Albert, I'm going to let you go first because I already know who you're going to say.
It's big time Bex, and that's the match that I want. I want Becky and Rhea. That's all I want. Give it to me.
All right. Tidy, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going Becky as well. I want Becky.
Yeah.
The thing is, I would love Jade, and I didn't put her on there because it's too predictable in my head, and I just can't have fun in my head that way. So I'm sticking with my original thought. It's going to be Becky.
Yeah, it's Ivy.
So I'm getting something right now. So I'm going to stall for a second. Because everyone talks about how they want Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch so bad. And I know this is crazy to hear from me because of how much I absolutely just love and adore Becky Lynch and everything she does for the women's wrestling because she is the best at it. But I hate to break it to everybody that seems to forget this. It's happened before. This isn't a first-time matchup, everybody. It's not. It's happened before. It was a short match, and we didn't get it. I don't care. It still happened before.
And that wasn't Rhea at who Rhea is now, you know?
Rhea in NXT was amazing, man.
Okay, so you know what? I know who you're going to pick, and that's happened way more.
Because there's story and we need continuation.
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan literally has laid out the story for everybody that I've been screaming at anybody who would listen to me about. This is the story. You got, hey, Cody, finish your story. We all went on there and was like, we want Cody because we want Cody to finish his story. Now Chad Gable's on there talking about, I want to finish my story. And we're all going to be like, yeah, Chad, go finish your story. Why can't Liv finish her story? She's got one. It's clear. We've seen it play out on WWE television. And she's a big deal. You don't like her. That's cool. That's fine. But she's still loved by a lot.
Sure. No, listen. I get it. I do. I think that's a great SummerSlam match. I don't think it's a WrestleMania match. That's me. That's just me.
Bianca. Hey, get the fuck out of here. We don't want that one either. I'm tired of seeing Bianca being pushed every dang WrestleMania season. She needs.
How about that? I'll put it this way: if they didn't have Liv lose her championship to Ronda Rousey so quickly, I think I would have been a little bit more excited for this.
That's not Triple H's fault.
I agree. And to be fair, in all the time that Triple H has been booking, Liv Morgan's been hurt a large part of that. So it's hard for me to say I wouldn't get behind Liv Morgan booked by Triple H.
All right.
She just doesn't seem, she's not there as a WrestleMania world title contender yet. She's just not there for me yet. Maybe next year if she has a really good solid year and she beats some more top tier women, sure. But right now she's one rung below being that person. I think just a little bit more, she could be there.
Question. I'm gonna ask you a question. I already have. I think she is, but I'm gonna ask you if it does happen, if it would change your perspective. If Liv Morgan was to absolutely not only win the chamber, but steal the show in the process, would you buy her?
Oh no, absolutely. If she wins and they make it convincing, yes.
Kofi Kingston style run in the chamber, but instead of her losing at the last, that she actually wins it.
Absolutely, 100%. Look, if they can sway me. I'm not saying they can't sway me. I don't dislike Liv Morgan that much. She's not my favorite. I just don't see her as a WrestleMania world title contender right now. It's just me. I think it needs that little.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that just needs a little bit. That's it.
Tidy, what's up?
Well, I kept thinking about the Revenge Tour, and like there's she's using that word. I mean, it kind of sounds corny, Revenge Tour, but that means it's a big deal. Like she's gonna have like a bunch of shit lined up and planned, and she's still got that little smirky look on her face, like she's kind of laughing. It almost looks evil, but it's not. Like she must have a plan, right?
She's psycho.
Exactly. She's a little bit psycho. She's not full psycho, but she's there, and I think they're gonna reveal more of that. I think the biggest way to get revenge on her is literally like Jimmy's theory. Like you take away her boy. You take away mommy's boy toy.
Yeah.
And that will piss off Rhea Ripley. And then that's hopefully when I get the story where I am sold and start loving her. Because I don't love her either. I'm a fan of her. I'm just not in love with her. Because she hasn't been on TV.
Thanks for jumping in, Courtney. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye, Courtney. So I think it's a very big possibility that, dude, if you're going for revenge, you hit Rhea where it hurts. And I think that's what she's going to do. She's going to try to steal Dom or fuck Dom over or just get mommy mad at it. And then she's going to prove to her that prove to Dom, mommy's using you. Whatever it is. And Dom may actually side with her. And that'll make her interesting as shit if she can pull that off.
I'm going to say one more thing about my theory. I know I might just be hearing things or seeing things because I want to, because I have this great idea and I want to see it happen. But I did hear this on Monday Night Raw. I think it was last week, where someone asked Dom, where's Rhea? Because they have not really been coming out and doing things together recently.
True. They haven't been. You're right.
And as my man, Not Sam, says, everything counts.
Yep. Every little thing.
So that's a seed, in my opinion, right there as to, hey, Dom, where's Rhea? The reason he's in Judgment Day is because Rhea. So if Rhea's kind of off doing her thing, not giving Dom the attention he needs and wants, hey, Here comes somebody who's wanting complete revenge on mommy. What's a great way to get it? I've told y'all this months ago what the best way to get it is, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then I will reveal that I've actually been working for WWE this whole time because, man, I got the greatest shit.
Well, JD McDonough, I was talking with someone else on there, a big fan of Dom on Twitter. And they've been going back and forth about, like, JD McDonough and Dom have been, like, really close. Come out as tag teaming a lot, always in each other's corner, and it's only them. You don't see the other, you don't see Finn, you don't see Damian. And, who has been taking L's repeatedly? It's been basically them. They haven't gotten any wins. So for the fact that JD finally got a win, you know, to solidify they're all business now. So I think they've kind of been like the odd men out in a certain sense. And it kind of shows. I think the last time she yelled at them to get it together as well. She's been yelling at all of them.
When you start getting treated like an outcast, what do? You start looking for other things to do. Oh, you don't like her. I don't really like her right now either. I got an idea. Whoop.
Yeah, that might be the
reason, Lou. That is exactly my reason for it, because I think the only thing Liv is missing is that she's just not interesting. If you gave her something like this to sink her teeth into, it's kind of like you gave Von Wagner, which we were talking about earlier. You gave him Robert Stone to help him get to sink his teeth into stuff, and he's interesting again. Liv Morgan just needs that thing. This would be an awesome thing for her. And again, Rhea wouldn't even go after Rhea immediately after. So it buys Liv some time before the rematch with Rhea that Rhea ultimately would win because she's now the babyface and you would want her to get that back. So,
and I also just want to point out here too, I don't just think that Liv Morgan's boring because she's Liv Morgan. I think it's WWE doing a disservice to their women's division.
Yes, for sure.
They don't have stories for women when they're not in the title picture. The most interesting Liv Morgan was when she was trying to get, she did that whole psycho bit because she was trying to become a world champion. That was the most interesting she ever was, and it still didn't do it for me, but at least it was something that they gave her.
There was effort being made.
Right. When these women don't have anything to do outside of I want to be the women's world champion, it's really hard to get invested in their characters, and it's hard when they're not, pushed very, very strongly because the four horsewomen were, Asuka was, Bianca Belair was, and Alexa Bliss was. Like, these are all characters we saw. They got pushed very large with very long title runs, and they were consistently in the title picture. Liv isn't, and it's hard for her to get this to keep that momentum when they don't really have momentum for her.
Yeah. Well, I gave it to her.
Yeah, I mean, and that would do it. It would do it. Like, honestly, like, it really would. It would give her something to sink her teeth into. It's a great way to put it.
Well, that being said, Chelsea's interesting as hell. And I'm loving Chelsea. I mean, like, I know not everybody understands who, Candice LeRae and Indy are, but I like that they had their little time on the TV to be like, hey, we want to be in the Battle Royal. They're hella interesting to me. I mean, because I know all of them from NXT.
Yeah, they definitely need more time.
They have a story.
They do.
Candice needs more time.
Candice needs way more time.
Yeah, that's one of the fumbles, in my opinion, with the women's division is that Candice isn't used more, at least to kind of help get people over.
Right. And,
she could do the Natalia role the exact same way Natalia does it. Just put her on the other channel and
even more sympathetic, I believe, too. She's got
for sure.
She sells so well. There's a lot of things that people don't understand that Candice is so good at that you just haven't seen from her.
Yeah, and that's a shame. That's a fumble. But now we'll go back to the men's elimination chamber, and again, based on the names we've put out there right now, before we see anything else, we still have 2 weeks of television, but before we see anything else, who do we have based on who we know?
Drew.
Still going Drew.
Yeah. It has to be. No, it's Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio is going to win the Elimination Chamber and then go on to WrestleMania to become World Heavyweight Champion. And then him and Mommy ain't even going to get to share the whole picture of having the same titles because he's going to be having that picture with Liv Morgan to really rub that salt into Rhea's face. I'm an evil
and then Damien's
dastardly bastard.
Cash in on his ass.
Hey. Hey. What did you just say?
Talk about a time to cash in. Mommy,
what did you just say?
What? That's what would happen in the Judgment Day story. They'll go after his ass.
Bro, I'm mad now. Why would you say some stuff like that?
Or do they kick Rhea out. Like that would be the interesting part of seeing where the Judgment Day story would go after that.
Well, think
Break
about
up,
it.
kick Rhea
Damon
out.
don't really want her there because he don't get to be alpha male. So
you're not wrong.
oh my god, oh my god, I would hate Damien so much. He would be the worst. LA Knight. Yeah.
Actually, I've been loving Damien lately, man. Damien's been great. How he sticks it to anybody or how he broke it down for truth. It's like basically it's an execution. Like I was like, shit, he's screwed.
All right, we've hit the hour mark, so we are going to talk just a little bit. We'll give it 10 minutes because I have to talk about it. We're going to talk about this right here.
What if 5 fingers said to the face?
Cody said, "Oh, you son of a." Now, we all watched the press conference. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so we all know what happened. I figured it's been all over the internet. We've all watched it probably multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
It was so damn good. But my question after watching
with Rhea, fire. Just throwing that out there. I know you love how much you love Liv.
That's a twist. That's a twist.
Just throwing it out there.
You gotta get the big names out there, man. That's what it's all about. I'll talk about that one next week too, because I'll tell you exactly why Becky shouldn't win it. The Cody, Rock, Roman Reigns triangle that we got going on here. We saw the Cody crybabies come out in full force to be like, no, we want Cody. We want Cody. Rock then turned heel and all that good jazz. We've heard what he said at the press conference. We've seen it all unfold. So my question now is, do you think this was the plan the whole time? And why or why not?
I think it was the...
Go ahead, Ty. You got an answer? I'll let you go. If not, I'll go first.
It's a hard answer. Save yours for last. But no, you thought way more about this than we did, especially since it's your question. So
it's fair.
I think it was all working. Was the way it was supposed to go in the first place. This was to rile people up because they wanted The Rock to be like a board member story, interfering with Triple H saying, hey, we're banding together, know your role. They had like 4 memes towards Rock. I mean, Rollins even said it. What can I say, but you're welcome. And then what did Cody say? Cody's like, hey, where do you put those 2 nuggets again? Where do you put? He made him say in your ass on live television. That's hilarious, by the way. But I think it was the whole point was to bring that story about at the same time, but they needed something to do with that, with everyone. Triple H ain't stupid. It's 2 years of this. He knows damn well it needs to be Cody's story at this point, because if you don't beat Roman now, what the hell, man? Just like Seth said, what have we now created? You got a 2-headed monster, The Rock and Roman. So I think this was the whole path of the story. It was to get us worked up. That smack was intentional. I think it's Seth Rollins doing his thing. It's like you said, screw you, CM Punk. Him giving his passion out there. You think you just do what the hell you want because you're a board member? Screw you, blah, blah, blah. I think all that was staged and it was done great. Rock did okay. I felt like he was like trying to get himself angry. And that's what I felt. Anyways, it all worked though. I think it was in purpose to set up GMs and creative of doing a backstory that us fans can look at, like they're doing the right thing. And the other story is Roman and Rock being these evil assholes. And they needed to convince people of that story by trying to make it real and screwing Cody over. And I think that's what happened. I think Rock, all his reactions, though, some of it is his pride. Like, okay, Cody crybabies because, oh, I want to go have sex with your wife. No, I got to talk about Cody. I think all that was a little bit over the top.
I love
people like me who break their foot and have nothing else to do but geek out because I can't have to lay in bed all day. That was some cold shit, Rock. That's some cold shit you had to say there. Anyways, I think he had a little bit of his pride hurt in a certain way too, getting all those boos. So some of that is definitely reactionary by Rock, but I think it was all supposed to be this way. Me and my roommate talked about it, and we thought, nah, this is perfect. This is the way they would set it up.
The plan was exactly how it unfolded. You don't think they deviated at all?
I think Rock being reactionary at certain things, maybe even Seth can be more reactionary, but I think that's perfect for Seth.
Yeah, I mean, reactions going into the story. That's good. Just
so I think I don't think it was. I think this was the plan in the get.
Okay, Albert, what about you, man?
If this wasn't the plan all along, holy shit, is this the best pivot in professional wrestling ever?
Yeah.
Like
So
I mean,
far, so far, yes.
Yeah. Look, I think that The Rock has been saying since, there was even the rumor of this, he kept saying the long game, the long game, the long game, the long game. I think that everything he did on the Pat McAfee show, the only thing I didn't like was actually the line that Tidy actually said, "Oh, I can't, hold on, you want to come have sex with me? No, I can't. I have to talk about Cody online." Most of those people that hashtag Cody online don't have wives. They don't have sex. So I think that was the only thing that was the only misstep for me in that promo.
Rock is giving people too much credit.
Absolutely.
They don't know. They don't have no pie flavor. They don't
That's some mean shit to say, though. I gotta say, messed up, Rock. How could you? And I was like,
but it's a real thing to say.
Right.
No, go ahead, Albert. Go ahead.
So my thing is this: I don't know for sure, but I will say this: I think that there is a chance that Triple H knew that there was going to be some sort of a backlash if The Rock took the Cody spot. So I think that Friday, I don't know if anything was set in stone. I think they were like, look, let's get The Rock out there. Let's have him next to Cody. Let's see what happens. And if the outrage gets to the point where people are so pissed off at The Rock, then you know what? Screw it. We'll stay the course. We'll give him Cody. But if The Rock is the one that's getting cheered over it, screw it. We'll give them what they want. I think that Triple H was in a position where he was like, you know what? Whichever one gets over. I think once we saw the we want Cody stuff and that it took off and that people were getting that invested, I think they were like, well, there's your answer. But I also do think that the long game has always been in play. I think The Rock has always known that he wanted to face Roman. I think that the best way to do it is to give us this storyline. So it's not just Rock coming on TV and saying, should I sit at the head of the table? Okay, here we go. Now it's, hey, here I am. I'm with Roman. There's this whole aspect that we're tying in. Let's wait a year. There's a part of me that really thinks that this was it. This was the plan the whole way, and we got worked. I think that Triple H is intentionally having people feed things to like the wrestling media.
Yes.
Screwing everybody's plans up. I think that this was it the whole way.
So this is what the sources look like after they get off the phone with people at whatever. I'm not going to name drop people, but the media. This is what they look like after that idiot bought it hook, line, and sinker, and then they get to swerve us. I'm gonna say right now, if like you said, Albert, if this wasn't the plan from the get go, this is the greatest pivot move I think I've ever seen with the knowledge I have about professional wrestling, because I was just like in awe of what they gave us at the press conference. I was like, what? I think it was the plan the whole time, though. And the reason I'm going to say that is because I saw a few people like, this doesn't even make sense. Why would Cody do this? He said he wouldn't, and now he's saying he is. It doesn't make sense, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's how I took it. Cody got counsel from The Rock. Oh, before we go any further, what is the main catalyst behind Cody Rhodes' story? Like, what's the main thing?
Finishing the story, winning the championship.
But what's the story? Finishing the championship, why?
Because his dad never got it. His dad
for
had the belt for a second. They ripped it from him.
And then he's come out and said recently that it's not just for his dad. It's for his mom. It's for his wife. It's for his daughter. It's for his family. It's for his family. Yes, okay. It's for his family. That's the thing behind Cody's story for me. It's all driven by family. He's got to win that title for his family and the family name, the Rhodes name that needs to be cemented in the WWF legacy, because it hasn't been, and it's kind of a travesty that it hasn't. Goldust could have been a WWF champion and it would have been fine, but it never happened, and it's crazy. So he gets counsel from The Rock, and The Rock says, I got this one, kid. And he says whatever. I would like to know how that conversation played out. I think they need to address that. That's my only hang up in all this. But The Rock clearly convinced him to give him the shot at Roman, and then he could have a shot later on.
To me, it sounds like he just schmoozed Cody. It was more, hey, Cody, look, I know you got this whole thing going on, but look, this is, it's The Rock, and this is like family business. It's something I've always wanted to do. He keeps telling me he's the head of the table. The Rock's the head of the table. I think that's like the essence of I got from that.
I think it could go anywhere, and that's why I think it needs to be addressed. And
okay,
as a person who literally, like, I was just talking about earlier how I think it's fine for us to kind of maneuver our way through certain things because I think they're kind of obvious. This isn't one of them. I need to know what that conversation was like and what he said to Cody to make Cody say, all right, and kind of take a back step for his story to finish. So we get to the press conference and The Rock comes out there and he's not mad at Roman at all. He's out there talking about how this is the biggest WrestleMania of all time and it needs to be the biggest main event of all time. And the only way to do that, and then he shows off his family tree and he's all these names as part of the bloodline. And then there's Rock and Roman, and we're the two biggest names in that entire family tree. So for us, the main event, the WrestleMania, is the biggest main event, the biggest main event of all time, and that's why it needs to happen. And then they share, they do grip hands with each other and like, yes. And in that moment, Cody was like, "This son of a bitch lied to me." Came out and said, "Hold up, this is bullshit."
Came out with no music.
Yes.
Almost like, and tapping the microphone like, wait, hold on, is this thing on? Whoa, 1 second. Like it wasn't
nonsense, Cody. This is no nonsense, Cody saying,
yes.
Bullshit. This is not happening on my watch. Because what they have done is try and cement their name as a bigger deal and overshadow his family's name, which is the whole reason for this story to be finished to begin with. So for Cody to backtrack on him saying it won't be at WrestleMania. We all remember what he looked like when he said that. He didn't even believe it himself, which was a fucking amazing acting job by Cody Rhodes. Because here he's like, no, not on my watch, not on my dad's watch. I'm handling this. And then you see Rock and Roman, they're together. It's clear. So Cody
picks Rock too. Yeah. It's it's mutual.
He got tricked. Cody said, nah. Dummy. Y'all love that one. Nah, dummy. Ain't happening. I'm coming for Roman. I'm coming to take everything from him. Now, I told y'all, I feel like I know the reason why it's happening this way. And this is exactly it. Because last week, you talked about how Roman came out in Philadelphia and raised Roman's hand, and they all booed them and turned them down. Says, no, we don't want it. So, how do we turn Roman face, which is what everyone seems to think is going to happen once this bloodline story is over? You have a heel Rock. How long do you think Roman is going to sit back and allow the Rock to act like the head of the table?
Like the number one.
Yeah. Like
the number one. And
do you see the Rock doing the same thing? No. There's going to be dissension there. It's going to happen after WrestleMania when Roman is no longer champion. And then that is how you get to Rock and Roman, in which Roman will come back as the face because I assume Solo is going to turn on him and join The Rock because he was sent by the elders. Who's now there? The Rock. He's kind of an elder. So there you go.
And
it's going to
the future tribal chief, right? If Roman Reigns ain't the tribal chief, who's next in line?
Yes. So they're going to kick Roman out. He's going to leave for a while. He's going to come back. He's going to be the baby face that we all wanted him to be to begin with, but he was just too corny because now they do baby faces right. And guess who helped him get there? The man who held his hand up in the Royal Rumble all them years ago and failed. So this is him coming back to redeem that, and they did a full circle story with it, and that's why I think this whole thing was by design from the get-go. It's just too damn good. It's a masterpiece. It's cinema. I don't care if people are tired of hearing it. It is. It's cinema, everybody. I can't wait to see this shit unfold.
I love cinnamon.
Me too. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
My favorite cereal.
So that's that. That's it. We went over, like I said, I wanted to get that one in there.
No, we needed to.
There's no way we weren't going to talk about the press conference. So with that, we're going to say our goodbyes. Tidy, you up first, as always. Let them know what's up. Let them know what you got to tell them before we say our goodbye.
I don't have much of anything, but I'm excited for Friday night SmackDown because The Rock is going to be there. I still think it's a GM thing. GMs and creative doing what's right versus everybody else doing what's bad, The Rock and Roman. And I'm excited for that storyline. I think that's going to be in there. That's all I got to say. I'm going to enjoy my Friday.
Yeah, SmackDown is star-studded. Star-studded this week. Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
And it's double taping.
Yeah, it's a genius move to bring Rock and Roman in during the double taping. They get 2 weeks of television out of them.
Yep.
Albert, tell them what's up. Tell them what they need to do.
Just real quick, in a world that we live in where, look, let's face it, there have been a lot of unflattering things coming out about people and certain companies. There's a lot of negativity that's surrounding pro wrestling right now. But pro wrestling in and of itself, if you take away all the stuff that's happening off the screen, on the screen, it's never been hotter. We are in another period where wrestling is hitting on all cylinders. If you like the WWE, man, you got to be loving the WWE right now. If you like AEW, AEW's turning up the heat. They're starting to get a little bit, they're starting to get back to that old AEW flavor a little bit more each and every week. It's a great time for pro wrestling. Let's stop with the negativity against each other. Let's stop with the infighting. Let's all enjoy it. WrestleMania season's coming up. AEW's doing well. WWE's doing well. It's a fun time for pro wrestling. So let's just watch what we like. Let's go watch the Slam sessions because I'm going to put up a new video tomorrow. And let's have fun, guys. Stop with the negative stuff. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
And I was having this conversation, and I was having a conversation with my friends the other day, and I don't think I've ever put it any way better. There's no reason in the world a person who is watching a product on TV should be concerned with the woulda, couldas, and shouldas that were not being given. They didn't happen, and they didn't happen for a reason. And if you weren't on the internet and you weren't subscribed to wrestling websites, or you weren't scouring the internet for all these rumors and stuff like that, you would never know the wouldas and couldas and shouldas. You would only know what you've been given. And the wouldas and couldas and shouldas are a big reason why people can't just enjoy wrestling, because they heard something and they're like, oh, that was better than what we got. But was it? Let's wait for the end. Like, it happens way too often. I think that's it. Stop with the woulda, couldas, and shouldas. We all think we have better ideas. I know. I think it all the time. Only one of us is telling the truth, and it's me, and that's fine. You can have your little theories and all that. You can have your big dreams and think you know what you're talking about, everybody. It's fine. It's okay. But don't be getting mad when it don't go your way. It's crazy. Just enjoy it. That's why we're here. We're watching what's on TV because we love it. Enjoy it.
Every week you fantasy book something, and whenever it doesn't happen, you go, hey, my idea didn't happen, but I like what they did anyway.
Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah. And if I don't, I just don't talk about it, because
right.
I'm not giving it attention, because when you don't give something attention, it dies.
The way. Yep.
That's what I'm talking about with them 5-star matches. Stop talking about that guy's name. Treat it like what's that? What's the dude in the mirror that you used to do as a kid? Candyman. You go in the you're Candyman, and then he appears. All right. Well, you don't say Candyman's name, and guess what? He don't appear. So don't talk about these people. So with that, this Sunday, Wrestling Legion, we're going to be having another fantasy booking face-off on Wrestling with Your Thoughts. I will be taking on Mr. Devin Andrews for my championship. He will lose in glorious fashion. I can promise you that. We will be rebooking King of the Ring 1999, the 4 weeks leading up to it, and the show itself. I finished that today. I love it. I'm changing the 3 screw-ups from that whole show. One, the ending, because nobody ever described or explained what happened. The King of the Ring winner itself, maybe I might just make it a little bit better. And then the third one, I can't remember now, but doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I did a good job. And then we will also be doing Royal Rumble 99 for a quick booking, just the show itself. And then WrestleMania 1999, we'll be going back and forth doing a co-job on that one. So it's 1999 all over again. If Attitude Era is your thing, tune in this Sunday over at Wrestling Legion. And it's Wrestling with Your Thoughts with our good buddy Nick. And I will be taking on Devin Andrews. My bad, Devin Andrews. So check that out. And then we'll be back here next week at the original time, Sunday, 8 o'clock Central Time, which we'll be talking about something glorious that happened. I don't know yet, but we'll probably be talking more Chamber because SmackDown's about to be a big deal, baby. And with that, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you joining us on this Tuesday evening, and we will see you on Sunday. Deuces or toodles.